Hello and welcome to the Circle at Kismet. Today we're going to be doing a reading to find out more about our future spouse, twin flame, soulmate or love interest. This year Queen Elizabeth II celebrates 70 years on the throne, and in view of this Platinum Jubilee I thought it would be a perfect inspiration for a reading. So today we're going to be using an array of crowns and other London symbols to pick a pile to find out who will be our future king or queen of our hearts. There's also a short note from them about how they will feel about you. We have 6 choices. If you've not participated in a pick a pile before, pause the video, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and when you're ready, open your eyes and see where you are drawn. So let's have a closer look at the options. Option number 1 is the red and gold crown. Option number 2 is the purple crown. Option number 3 is the London bus. Option number 4 is the postbox. Option number 5 is the golden crown. And option number 6 is the famous black taxi cab. This is a collective reading and will not be for everyone, so just take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. Timestamps will be below in the description box. If you like the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you at your pile. If you've picked the red and gold crown, here's your reading. For those of you who picked pile 1, the red and gold crown, here are your cards. We're going to start off with a short note from your potential king or queen of your heart though first. And that is here. Let's just have a quick look. It says, I am the one who will passionately defend those dear to me. Until now I have had an adventurous spirit and have encountered many experiences. But now I look for one who will not only tame my heart but captivate my soul and will be the calming influence I so desperately need. I have much to share with you and hope in return you will guide me spiritually, as I know you are more evolved in this dimension. Together I know we'll have a dynamic connection and I cannot wait for this spark to spark into action. So that's a great way to start the reading. We're going to carry on with the cards. The first couple of cards are going to reflect their personality. And we begin with card number 5 and the gemstone of turquoise. The person represented by these cards can be a bit of a fantasist. They may have conflicting ideas to others and enjoy the debate or altercation that goes with being slightly eccentric. They may feel their life lacks meaning, so elaborate on the truth, making the bland seem somewhat more exciting. For whatever reason, they seem to draw groups around them with interest, but the person within can get lost in their tangled stories or facade that they choose to hide behind. They have a love for the quirky or unusual, and this may be expressed openly in their dress sense, in their hobbies, or in the way they act from day to day. Or it could be more suppressed and sedated, but either way this person is a complex and intriguing character to meet. The next 2 cards represent your personality, and you have Supernova, number 8, and the Orange Sapphire, 41. You seem to have taken yourself out of the humdrum of life and have been working hard behind the scenes. This might have been because of a bad breakup, studying, family, or purely working on yourself and your shadow work. But the time has now come to return to the world. But you seem hesitant at where to start on this. You may feel so out of the loop that rejoining is uncomfortable. But remember, this reclusive period was required and cleared your path both physically and spiritually to embrace the new world. If you feel you have any physical body issues, it's always worth remembering that your body has served you this far and to this point and needs to be nurtured like your mind and soul. Don't be too hard on yourself. Progress is not all about pushing forward, but also about enjoying and living in the current moment. The next batch of cards is about the energy when you'll meet and potentially some of the places that you could meet. And you've got the Ten of Swords, the Four of Wands, the Chariot, and the Nine of Swords. There's been a lot of soul searching for both of you. You've both felt under pressure for different reasons, but it's not something that either of you could have done a lot about. For one of you, it may have led to a move of house or some major upheaval of living arrangements. Just when you feel that you are fighting a constant battle, things begin to get released and the clouds begin to lift. This dark phase may have been the last hurdle to face before you are ready to meet one another. And with regard to some of the places that you could meet, some of you will meet in a restaurant or where food is served. There may be in some kind of upgrade of vehicle, be it a bike or a car, or somebody maybe you know is exchanging a vehicle. It could be there. For others, the connection will be made near wood or trees. Sculptures, clay or crafts of some kind, either being created or exhibited, could be the key. For one of you, there will be frames where your connection begins, and for another, there'll be a maze or some form of panic room scenario that will reveal yours. The next three cards are how the relationship may pan out, and we have the Strength card, we have the Magician, and once again we have the Four of Wands card. There's quite a difference between your personalities, lifestyles, thought patterns and possibly cultures. Maybe there's a large age gap between you, or it's a long distance relationship. But whatever the challenge is, you are a meeting of true opposites, and whilst the road may not be straightforward or plain sailing, with compromise and finding the positives, this has the potential to thrive. You have such an ability to learn from one another and to teach each other. If you can find a balance, you could be world beaters. The next two cards are any obstacles you face, and you have the Seven of Diamonds and the Ten of Diamonds. I think a lot of the obstacles have already been covered, but there's an essence of frustration and a real temptation to give up at some points. But if your focus is combined on the same thing, the obstacles will be lessened and fall by the wayside. And then the final two cards are just a little bit of guidance. We have the card of Poppy Fields, which says, let the red hue set your inner passions alight, which I think is good because you've obviously picked the red crown and the red envelope. And the other card is Palm of your hand. It is your time to seize the opportunity in front of you. So that obviously gives you some guidance as to now being the time to act. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you did, give us a like, consider sharing and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. If you pick the purple crown, here's your reading. So if you picked option number 2, the purple crown, here are your cards. And we're going to start off with a letter from your future king or queen of your heart. So this is your letter here. And it says, I have waited a long time to find my heart's desire. I have often wondered where you may be, when and where our paths may cross, and how the unbreakable bond we will share may manifest and take shape. I have been lonely, with no light in the darkness of my heart. The cold, hollow walls of my castle will only become a palace when you, my love, are eventually by my side. So that's a lovely way to start the reading. And then going on to the cards, the first two cards are their personality, and we have number 21, and we have the gemstone of citrine, which is number 17. This appears to be someone who's a risk taker. They'll often get caught up in the moment or in the momentum of a situation and may lack stability when pushing something many would see as a whim. Luck is often on their side, which makes them feel supported. However, when reality strikes, they may have difficulty relocating into the real world. Their personality is one of a sunny essence. They may be wealthy, although this may be in the rich in life and with opportunities rather than the financial stakes. Their heart is in the right place, although they rarely show it in active displays of love, but more discreet or subtle acts of affection. The next two cards will reflect your personality, and we have Ra Ra Ra, which is card number 10, and we have the gemstone Amazonite number 2. You have known bleak times. There has been an unavoidable void which has left you questioning where you want your life to go and how to best fulfill your goals. You do not shy away from hard work and are dedicated to the cause if you are passionate about it. You may find it difficult to ask for help, however, you are well supported and have many who will come to your aid. You may be criticised for being a little hesitant or waiting too long to make decisions when you are unsure. But this has worked in your favour in the past, and rarely does being too cautious cause issues beyond delays. Then the next cards are the energy when you will meet, and you have the Ace of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Hermit, and the Four of Cups. There is an essence of feeling that others are trying to be controlling in your life or with your time. This could be parents, family, tutors, friends, or even ex-partners, but it feels quite oppressive. There's an essence of people giving opinions or sharing viewpoints, and this can lead to frustration on your part. When you meet, this will lighten these feelings and allow you both to shrug off any restraints and to spread your wings together. Beware though, not everyone will be pleased for you, but this could be a result of jealousy or a reflection of the lack of relationships or happiness in their own lives. And to give you a guide on where you may meet, some of the things that I was getting are family gatherings, which are highlighted, places where awards are given or celebrated, as well as places where things are displayed in cabinets and admired. For some, your meeting may involve fish, some kind of water, or possibly travelling across water, a river, ocean, or even a sea. For one of you, you will meet when there is a swift change in weather, and for another, your meeting will be connected to some form of gothic clothing or shoes. And then the next batch of cards are how the relationship can pan out, and we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the Emperor, and the Six of Cups. The relationship essence quickly evolves. You may find things actually moving too quickly and wanting to take some time out, or thinking back longingly to a time before you were a couple. There are various opportunities in this relationship open to you both, but these may lead to time apart, which may influence your future together. If you want ventures to work and be productive but not to affect the relationship, then a really fine balance must be struck and be amicable to both parties. The next two cards are any obstacles that you may encounter, and you have the Nine of Diamonds and the Six of Diamonds. So the obstacles here seem to be related to time apart and how this could lead to a yearning to be independent from the couple that you've become. There are also times when one or other of you's generosity may be questioned. It could be questioned by somebody outside the relationship or by the significant other, the other party. This could come under a spotlight due to an imbalance in the relationship or jealousy caused by an outside party to your union. And then last but not least, we have a little bit of guidance, general guidance. We have a card of freedom, which says you have an independent mind, time to make your own decisions. And the final card is the card glass half full, which says keep your chin up and see things in a positive light. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you did, give us a like, share and consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next reading. If you pick the London bus, here's your reading. So if you pick pile number 3, the London bus, here are your cards. And we're going to start off with the note from your future king or queen of your heart, which is here. And it reads, I cannot take my eyes away from you. I feel so privileged to be your soulmate, to have such a vibrant soul connection with you, and most importantly, to be the chosen one to love, nurture, and to build a life with you. Your aura lights up a room as you enter. Your smile dazzles like a majestic crown full of finely cut stones and intricately cut diamonds. You are far more precious than any jewels or gold to me. You are priceless and simply one of a kind. So that's a lovely way to start the reading. And then we're going to go on to the cards. The first 2 cards will reflect their personality. And they have card number 1 and Celestite. This person has gone from quite a restricted situation into what feels like something very liberating and free. Their outlook has been stifled by their situation, yet whatever release they have been subjected to has given them a complete new lease of life. This may have been a relationship, a hardship, a job or study path that has been overwhelming. They are ready for a new start and are receptive to the new and uncharted paths ahead. They may not be aware, but they have been helped by their guides and the angelic realm. For a handful, there is a grandparent or similar relative that they were close to on the earth realm before their passing, that walks with them, and who has tried to make comfort or send signs to them. The next 2 cards reflect your personality, and you have the Juggler, number 30, and Carnelian, number 14. You are someone who feels if a job needs doing correctly, you are the person to do it. The problem with this is when there are more and more projects that get added to the list and your resources and time become depleted. People come to you because you're trustworthy, you give good advice, or you are really supportive. But whilst you enjoy the challenge and the praise when it's for others, you may struggle at times when other things surface that are more pressing. It's hard to keep all the balls in the air. Sometimes you need to be able to say no and not to feel guilty when you are prioritising yourself over others and situations. The next batch of cards are the energy when you meet and some of the guidance as to the places you could meet. So the first card we have is the 3 of Coins, then the 6 of Coins, the 2 of Cups, and then the Ace of Coins. You have had a long and patient wait for a tangible relationship to come into your life, and when this comes, it will be at a time when you least expect it. You have yearned for a person who reflects your values, who compensates where you feel you lack and vice versa, and who mirrors your dreams and goals. You may question your life before this, but it is happening in divine time and when you are both in a place that you are supposed to be. And a bit of an indication as to places where you may possibly meet. Somewhere near plants or flower displays, possibly a field of grain or some beautiful landscape. For some of you, there's also a wide flight of stairs, possibly in some prestigious building or prestigious home. For some of you, it may be a meeting online and a first date at a coffee shop, or you may meet them doing something that you do every day, like maybe going to the gym or to college or to work. For one of you, there's definitely going to be a meeting around an unusual animal. And for another, I'm seeing an hourglass. So if you don't actually meet around an hourglass, it could involve the topic of time. So you could possibly meet near an impressive clock, or where time is of the essence. The next batch of cards are how the relationship may pan out. And you have the Nine of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, Temperance, the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. There's a very stable feeling about this union. There may be an option to work or study together, or to create a joint venture that may be productive for you both and not just financially. You may have a combined love of nurturing animals or growing food or cooking. You're both very talented in similar areas but bring different things to the table. Arranging something that you both enjoy is simple, but if it's something that you're both drawn to and stimulated by, it can allow your relationship to grow from strength to strength in different areas. The next couple of cards are any obstacles that may come up, and you have the Jack of Spades, the Eight of Spades, and the Eight of Diamonds. It may be hard work to differentiate between work and home if you do work together. There's an influence of somebody trying to get between you. They may be trying to take one person away from the other. This is not a negative person, but they do have their own reasons for this action. And it can be depleting to your relationship, your time together, and could actually come between you if it's not limited. And then the final two cards are just some messages. You have the Journey card, which says take things slowly, you'll get there in time. And finally, you have the card that says Glide. You have the ability to breeze through life with serenity. I think that's a lovely way to end the reading. If you enjoyed this, give us a like, consider sharing and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. If you pick the red post box, here's your reading. If you pick pile number 4, the post box, here are your cards, and we're going to start off with the note from your future king or queen of your heart. And this is your letter. Just read it. It says, I wish with all my heart to find you, and am so very humbled in your presence now you are so close. Your smile and humour are truly intoxicating. You fill me with a sense of peace, reassuring me that all is right in the world when you are near. I sometimes hear you talk to me in dreams, and I can sense your energy so vibrantly that to not find you there when I wake is so overwhelmingly disappointing. I know you are not far away. I just cannot wait to hold you in my arms and for us to become one. So that's a really nice way to start the reading. And then we'll go on to the cards. The first two cards will represent their personality. And we have card number 39 and lithium quartz, which is number 33. This person is very well balanced. They have transcended a lot of lower earthly energies and have found peace with who they are. Their life experiences so far have taught them so much. They have a very cool, calm persona. It's as if nothing phases them. Their attitude is often reassuring, and they have an amazing nurturing energy. They can be found caring for loved ones, or training to be, or working to help others who are in need and who are less fortunate. Their hobbies will be specific to what makes them feel good, but they will be open-armed for you to join them and to share their true passions and feelings. The next two cards may reflect your personality, and we have the Pixie Poirot 36 and the Stone of Kyanite 28. The person represented by this combination may feel they have lost their way. The once determined person with goals, dreams and ambitions has been swept up in life, and a stagnant phase has taken its toll. Maybe you've worked for too long towards a goal that feels fruitless, or you've been doing something that's consumed your time beyond where you feel it should have. Whatever the situation, you are being asked to step back, take stock and assess your position. Maybe it's time to build bridges where you felt things should have been left. Or, on the other side of things, maybe it's time now to release friendships that you've outgrown. Whatever the situation, it's a time of change, and now is the time to get you back on track and to create what truly makes you happy once again. The next batch of cards are the energy when you'll meet, and hopefully a little bit of guidance as to where you may meet. And you have the Ace of Wands, the Emperor, the King of Cups, Temperance, and the Nine of Wands. You've made steady progress, but it's been hard work, taken time and energy, and only now are you seeing the foundations that you have set in place. You are both determined individuals and have had similar experiences and learnt almost identical lessons. However, your lives have been very different up until your meeting. You may question if you can make this work when you seem poles apart in certain areas, but you have found one another for a reason, and this will become apparent all in good time. And some ideas of places you may meet. There are places where cooperation is in full swing, a specific celebration that you've been looking forward to for quite a long time. Places with sand and places with stunning views are highlighted. Meetings in places where files or records are stored. There's also indications to places where people have opposing views and voice this quite openly. For one of you, you're going to meet near a vintage typewriter or some old piece of equipment, old piece of office equipment potentially. Might be like a Morse code machine even, something that communicates but that is vintage. And for another one of you, you're actually going to meet on one of your birthdays, either your birthday or your partner's birthday. The next batch of cards are how the relationship pans out. And we have the Six of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, the Star, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Moon. There's something holding this relationship back. It may not be allowing things to flow and take shape as it should. It could be a controlling person from your past. The shadow or memory of this is shaping or preventing one of you from committing to this relationship. The past needs to be processed in order to move on and to allow you to embrace this relationship in an open-hearted manner. If there's still contact with anyone who may be blocking or preventing this relationship from blossoming, there's a need to either step back from this individual or to disassociate them, or worst case scenario, to cut all ties to allow you to love fully and freely. The next two cards are any potential obstacles you may meet. You have the Three of Spades and the Five of Clubs. So like just mentioned, obviously there could be a third party or someone's influence that's coming between you in the relationship. The thing that may actually break the relationship down though is how you react and how you discuss obviously what's going on. So just remember to keep a level head and to talk things through if you have any concerns. It can be potential anger or frustration that obviously will eat away slowly at an existing relationship, but love will conquer all, and if you can communicate with each other successfully, then that will actually stop that happening. So I think we covered obviously one of the things that can happen obstacle wise, somebody else is influence over the relationship, but there can be a potential to argue within this relationship, and obviously as long as you keep a level head and to just talk things through, particularly to voice concerns and be very open about how you feel, love will conquer all, and if you can communicate with each other successfully, then that will obviously bridge that gap. And then the last two cards are just a little bit of guidance, and you have the card of choice. Investigate all options open to you and follow your intuition. And the last card is Moonlight. Harness lunar powers and feel your feminine energy emerging from within. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you did, give us a like, consider sharing and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. If you pick the Golden Crown, here's your reading. So for those of you who picked pile 5 with the Golden Crown, here are your cards. We're going to start off with the note from your future king or queen of your heart, which is here. And it reads, "From the moment my soul felt you, my heart recognised you. I am in awe of your kindness, resilience and unconditional love. I cannot quite believe how lucky I am to be in your presence and to be connected to you in this lifetime, as we have not always been this fortunate for true love to reign so freely in our past lives. They say love will conquer all, and I feel with you by my side I could do anything." So that's a nice way to start the reading. I'm going to move on to the cards. The first two cards are to reflect their personality, and we have card number 33, and we have the Dalmatian stone, which is number 19, so Dalmatian jasper. The person represented by this pairing could show one side of their personality to the world, but then be completely different under the surface. They may have been criticised in the past by those who don't understand them, the experiences that they've been through, or the way they see the world. But they have an absolutely unique skill. It's not clear to all and can be dismissed by those lacking empathy or that take them at face value. They also have amazing levels of patience and tolerance, but even they have their limits, and they may need to divert attention to those who feel more like their soul family and to shut themselves away and to spend time with them more so than people who don't understand them. The next couple of cards represent your personality, and we have 28, the card of the Sacred Fall, and Petrified Wood, which is number 43. The cards depict someone who is careful, precise and skilled. People who have a strategy, a plan or a long-term goal that time, focus and dedication as well as energy has gone towards. Maybe this is why you've lacked love in your life, and why when this is reintroduced a more frivolous, playful side comes to the fore. You have the ability to be humorous, fun, young and spontaneous if only you let your guard down and begin to relax the stringent routine that you've held dear. The next cards are the energy when you meet, and we have the Five of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Princess of Coins, the Hangman, Princess of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. You have both achieved so much in recent times, but many of these victories do not feel so positive because in the larger scheme of things, and in comparison to others, they seem small or insignificant, but this is not the case. You have fought for things that some obtain easily, and had to forego things that you have found hard to release. But this has brought you both to this point, and being fully ready to greet this relationship as the people these experiences have made you. I've also got some indications as to where you may possibly meet. For some of you, you'll make a connection before you meet. It may be online, a call, a letter, but you'll have a foundation of knowledge of each other before you actually see one another. For some of you, it may be a connection through younger relatives or somebody in the family who introduces you. There's also, for a few of you, a journey of some kind. I'm getting rail or boat, unfortunately, so there's both options there. For one of you, you will gaze across flames when you first meet, and for another, someone in uniform will be the one for you. So for how the relationship may pan out, we have the King of Cups, the Ten of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Hierophant. You'll join forces and begin to reach a wider group of friends together. There are options to travel and to accomplish a dream that you both share a similar view of. There may be minor squabbles over finer details of plans. You need to decide how important these discrepancies are, as life will be far more smooth sailing if you can compromise on your dreams and be more flexible together. Be aware of something that feels too large a step. It is copable, but is not the right time for the best outcome. The next couple of cards are any obstacles you may face, and you have the Six of Spades, the Six of Clubs, and the Ten of Hearts. There's a few things from the past that may need to be processed and not brought into this relationship because it can cause a few issues. Obviously, as I've said, you're going to have a wider group of friends. Just be a little bit cautious that you're spending time balanced with friends and as a couple, because obviously that can cause a few issues. And also just beware if there's some overzealous interest or some unwanted interest coming from different parties, to just express your feelings and just talk about it, because obviously jealousy can cause a huge issue in relationships, and you might be reading too much into something. You know, just double check what's going on in your head versus in real life, and that goes for both parties. It can also be you being accused of seeing somebody in a different way to how you actually see them, because that's how it's being viewed. And lastly, we've got some message cards. We've got this one that just says, look at signals from nature, your guides are watching over you. And then we've got one that's letting go. It's time to release which no longer serves you for the highest good. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you did, give us a like, a share, and consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. And if you pick the black taxi cab, here's your reading. So for those of you that picked pile 6, the black taxi cab, here are your cards. And we're just going to start off with a note from your future king or queen of your heart. So let's just have a read of this. It says, the finery of regal red and purple velvets are not for me. The glittery carriages, thrones and jewels do not stir my interest. I seek someone pure of heart, with kind intentions, strong values and caring hands. Maybe when I find you, I will believe in fairy tales, in happily ever afters, and the mystical magic of romance and undying love. But until then, you remain out of reach, and my search continues in the hope you will soon be mine. And then next we'll move on to the cards. The first two cards represent their personality, and they are number 34 and pyrite number 45. The person represented by these cards is someone wholeheartedly focused. They can be so blinkered on something like their education, work or project, they may miss some amazing spontaneous opportunities. They can be known to have an addictive personality, and when they find what they want, they will submerge themselves fully into giving 100% attention to get the best chance of bringing whatever it is they're focusing on into fruition. Some of these projects may not pay off, and some can seem more tempting than the rewards they promise. Their energy is impulsive, and this can lead to them making impromptu decisions without proper thought or consideration. The next two cards represent your personality, and we have number 18, the Good Geisha, and we have the stone of accompanying, number 7. You are quite a private person. You don't feel fully comfortable to reveal your true self to those who you don't feel fully trusting of. You have a small circle of close friends, and they are a nucleus of support. You don't need to have fair weather or peripheral friends that do not bring substance to your life. In some areas, you may have a facade you adopt. It may be an outward jovial persona that hides the innermost depths of your feelings, but makes getting through the day easier than some thinking you are shy or not committed to the cause. To the right person, you will be open and grow, but until then, your life will remain a closed book to those who do not know you well. So the next batch of cards are going to be the energy when you meet, and hopefully some potential ideas of where you may meet. And they are the Lovers, the Ten of Cups, the Moon, the Star, the Six of Cups, and the World. So part of me wants to say that one of you is in a relationship when you meet. It may not be a happy one, or it could be one that they were trying to release themselves from before you came into their life. It's also a connection that deems ex-partners to return, or that it could be someone that you've known for a long time but not actually fully appreciated them in a romantic concept. You may recognise each other also from a previous life or from dreams, but whatever the case, there's definitely a connection where you feel very comfortable from the outset, and you can actually feel like it was meant to be. So with regard to where you're going to meet, these are only a few indications. One of the other polls also got this as well, where awards are given out or where there's prizes or trophies on display, possibly in a library or surrounded by books. For some of you, there's a picket fence nearby, or you may meet at a sunrise or a sunset. There's also fun activities and team building exercises that come to the fore, where gifts are given, where there's some form of running event. For a few of you, it's going to be near rock pools or huge boulders. For one of you, you're going to meet straight after a psychic reading, and it's going to be really spooky. And for another of you, you're going to have a very strange connection, which proves what a small world we live in. The next batch of cards is how the relationship's going to pan out. And you have the Page of Cups, the High Priestess, the Eight of Wands, the Five of Wands, the Hanged Man, the Three of Wands, and finally the Chariot. There may be a lot of mixed energy in this relationship. You may feel that there are times when you are not on the same page. When the good times are good, they are amazing, and it makes up for the less than great times. Sometimes it can feel like hard work to get the kind of relationship that you have been seeking. There may be a pause in the relationship when things seem particularly challenging. There could well be a third party, which may not be a person, but more likely a job, a course or a project, etc., that seems to be taking their time away from you. But this can be resolved with clear communication and reassessing how to get things back on track and to improve by working together. The next couple of cards are any obstacles that could come into the relationship. And we have the Four of Spades, the King of Spades, and the Nine of Spades. So as mentioned in the last section, when this relationship arrives, it's going to seem too good to be true. It's going to be really good in the good times. But there will be situations that come in that almost try and steal time away from you as a couple. It could be things like job or study or family, and you just really got to make sure that you stay focused on spending time together, communicating, sharing, really, because even if you're apart and you've got distance between you, or you're in two different areas doing two different things, you can still keep that connection alive, and that's what's important if you want this relationship to survive. And then lastly, we've just got a couple of general message cards. The first one is stories. Journal when you can. The rest of your life story is unwritten. And the card of social butterfly. Keep those around you who encourage positivity. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you did, give us a like, consider subscribing and share, and I'll see you in the next one.